Episode 523. At this point, the various guilds had truly lost their enthusiasm for the dungeon records. Seeing Happy successfully form a dungeon team, and one that couldn't be stopped, everyone suddenly felt that all they were fighting for now was second place, and that just felt pointless. So, some players stopped insisting on a full 5-man team. With 8 people, they could split into 2 4-man squads and still manage. But for a guild like Bluebrook Pavilion, which was down a man after Thousand City's departure, splitting 7 players into 2 teams meant 1 group of 3 and 1 of 4. A 4-man team was manageable, but even for these veterans, a 3-man squad was no joke. They wouldn't run a dungeon with just 3 unless they absolutely had to.
You guys form one group first. Zizhou and I will go find another guild to team up with.
Blue River was a good guild leader, always thinking of his people first and himself last.
I'm saying there aren't any other guilds left.
Blue River was taken aback by the reply, then remembered. The only ones left in Thousand Wave Lake with 3 dungeon runs unfinished were Lord Yi Chu's group, their own Bluebrook Guild, and Tyrannical Ambition.
What about the guys from Tyranny? They've got 3 extra. We could team up with them.
Blue River sent a message to Night Fairy Cold Pool, only to learn that their 8 players had already split into 2 groups, and both 4-man teams had already entered the dungeon.
Looks like we'll have to make do with a 3-man team.
After hearing the details, Shizhou could only voice his helplessness, and Blue River let out a sigh. The 7 of them pitifully split into 1 group of 4 and 1 group of 3, then entered the dungeon one after the other. That guy never did respond to Yishu's invitation. Shen Guo had just witnessed Yishu's invitation get turned down, but why had he extended it in the first place? Of course, it was because their team had Su Mucheng, whose schedule wasn't exactly flexible. Su Mucheng kept up with the top-tier players for 2 reasons. First, Yishu spent time power leveling her when she first joined the game. Second, her own skill was exceptional, making her leveling far more efficient than the average players. Then there was the Christmas event she participated in. But just look at Yishu, Su Mucheng, and Tang Ru. They all got a massive chunk of experience from that event, yet they're still stuck at the bottom of the top 100 on the leveling charts. It just goes to show, even with top-tier skill, you can't compete with a major guild's 24/7 professional leveling grind. Seeing that Yishu's party had entered the dungeon with 4 members in the end, Su Mucheng's character missed that run. She was definitely going to fall behind in experience. And if it kept happening, the gap would only widen. Of course, Chen Guo couldn't help but be concerned.
You're running the dungeon now. What about Su Mucheng? If she waits until tomorrow, there won't be anyone left to run the dungeon with her.
No choice. We can't wait for her. She doesn't have time tomorrow either. She has a match to play.
She's so busy, it must be exhausting.
Chen Guo felt a pang of sympathy for her idol.
It's not too bad. She doesn't spend an excessive amount of time in-game. Her skill makes up for it.
No amount of skill can make up for someone who's online 24/7 in a major guild, right?
Chen Guo, having come from a major guild herself, was well aware of this reality.
That's true.
Actually, my Chasing Haze is already max level. I just left the guild, and I don't have a fixed team for dungeons right now, so I guess I can put that on hold for a bit.
Chen Guo's words came out in a tangled, mumbling mess, a far cry from her usual sharp-tongued self.
Huh? So you're saying you could help train it?
Chen Guo nodded vigorously. She was thrilled at the thought of sharing an account with her idol, Su Mucheng.
Wouldn't it be a pain to have to swap the card back and forth every single day?
Not at all.
Chen Guo shook her head vigorously again, even more thrilled. This was another wonderful part of the joint training. Glory accounts are 1 card, 1 ID. So for joint training, you'd have to hand over your account card every day. That means you'd get to see your idol, Su Mucheng, every single day. Chen Guo thought, her grin practically splitting her face in 2. But then, out of nowhere, Yishu said,
Hey, boss lady, how old are you?
What?
Chen Guo didn't understand why this question had suddenly come up. Her age? Didn't Yishu already know that?
Boss lady, you're a grown woman. Is it really appropriate to be fangirling like a teenager?
You're asking for it.
Chen Guo immediately jumped up, but after looking around, she couldn't find anything suitable to use as a weapon. She was quite fond of the new, specialized mouse and keyboard she'd just bought. The monitor was too expensive and the chair was too big. Too much commotion. Wouldn't look good.
You do have a point there. Having them help with the training would take a huge load off our shoulders. It's a crucial, absolutely vital step for the guild's construction and development. A wise decision, boss.
Yi Shu immediately adopted a serious expression as he spoke. Meanwhile, Tang Ru calmly averted her gaze, trying to hold back a laugh. Shen Guo, having been subjected to Ye Shu's rambling nonsense, found half her anger had dissipated. She sat back down, caught somewhere between exasperation and amusement.
So tell me, how exactly do we do this?
Actually, my character is the key to leveling up. If you're really that dedicated, boss, you could always level up my account for me.
Help you?
Chen Guo's interest had clearly taken a nosedive. Back in the day, just the chance to grind for Yi Chu would have had her over the moon. But now, having met the real Ye Chu, and with Ye Shu serving as a transitional figure, Chen Guo's idol worship for the great god Ye Chu had gradually faded.
All right.
In the end, though, she agreed.
Hey, don't sound so reluctant. My character is a blast to play, just watch.
Yi Shu's hands flew, rapidly shifting the form of the Myriad Manifestations umbrella, showcasing all the fun Lord Grimm had to offer.
Got it.
Chen Guo gave a nod. That Myriad Manifestations umbrella is a strange thing, but it's genuinely quite fun. Chen Guo wasn't very proficient with other classes, though. The few times she'd used Lord Grimm, she'd just been messing around. Now that I'm seriously taking on this dedicated leveling job, I can try out all sorts of things.
Let me be clear, I'm not as crazy about it as you guys are. On days you don't practice, if I get tired while I'm at it, I'm stopping too.
Chen Guo laid out her terms.
And if it was Su Mucheng's account?
Yi Shu inquired, while Chen Guo shot him a sidelong glance that clearly said, "How can you even compare yourself to Su Mucheng?" Ye Shu was rather put out. In theory, he was the bigger pro than Su Mucheng.